Now that we have some understanding of what PrestaShop is, let's go ahead now and explore all the available options and menus within PrestaShop. I've logged back to my dashboard, and basically by the default, when you log back into your PrestaShop, the very first page displayed will actually be the dashboard. In this video tutorial, we'll have a look at the menu called Catalog. The Catalog menu is located just below the dashboard option, and once you actually click on Catalog, the catalog page like this will open. Also take a note that a few other options are available here. So under Catalog, we have the products, we have the categories, we have the monitoring, product attributes, product features, manufacturers, suppliers, tags, and attachments. Alright, so the very first page is actually the products under the catalog, and right at the top we have the add new products. So this is something that you will be using to add a new product. There's the recommended modules, and there's also help link here as well. Should you click on recommended modules, modules like this will actually show up, and you can actually go and install some of these modules. Some of them are free, for some of them you will actually have to pay, and this is something like add-ons or actual widgets or whatever you want to call it when you're actually building your online community or online e-commerce store. Okay, I'll just shut this down, and now let's have a look at our products page. Right at the top you'll have some information, so it will give you this block information, I call it. As you can see, it's given in different color blocks. So items in stock, we have this many. Basically this is saying how many of the items you're trying to sell you currently have in your stock. So this should be around 100%. That's the optimum and the best value, which actually means you have everything that you want to sell in your stock. Then we'll come across to the average gross margin, which is actually 0% at the moment. Then we have 80% of your sales in last 30 days and 0 of my catalog, and then we have disabled products. Okay, so this at the top will give you some information, some very basic information about your products. So the next option here will actually come, and you can actually check to filter by categories. Down below you find all of your products. So this is all of the products I currently have in my online store. As you can see, I have 7 of them, and first of all I have the IDs from 1 to 7. I can actually select as many as I want of these items, and I can perform some of the bulk actions. So basically I can enable this selection, disable it, or the last option here is to actually delete the selected. Okay, the next one across is actually the photo. This is the photo of my product. Then I have the name, the reference, the category. So this is something that we'll be creating in one of the other tutorials. Then I have the best price, final price, the actual quantity, the status, and here I have the button to actually edit this particular product. Now with the edit button, if you click on this edit, you can see that it's actually been divided into 2 different buttons. If you click on the left button, it will actually open the page, so it will open the page for this particular product. However, if you click on the right button, this is something that I call a short edit. It will actually give you the option to duplicate or to actually delete this particular product. Okay, moving at the top, you'll actually find the same as the button all the way to the top, add new product. Next to it is the actual export button, and then you have the import from the cloud, and you have the refresh link here button as well. Okay, so basically this is a little table of all of your products, and like I said, you can click on them and actually go and edit those particular products, or you can actually perform some of the bulk actions. Or the good thing is, if you're searching for some of those products, so for example, if you're searching for a product, products page will give you a lot of different options to search for that particular product. So for example, you can search by the ID, name or reference or category, best price, final price, quantity, and the actual status. So you can easily find all of your products by basically using all of the available attributes here that are given by the default about your products. In the catalog menu, just below the products is the actual categories. As the name of the link suggests, here you'll have some categories. Like before, you have some basic stats or information right at the top, and then you have a list of all of your actual categories. You would create many different categories as you need, and to do that there's two ways. You can either use the big button right at the top, add new category, or you can actually go down here and click on this little icon here, which is actually add new. Then also there's the import link here, import from the cloud. There is the edit button. Just like with the products, you'll have a table here. So for example, I have one category here and that's stated right here. I have my ID, the name, and the description here as well. Then I have the position here, so if I had many different categories, I can rearrange the position, and I have the option to actually display or hide this. So if I click on this button here, it will actually disable my displayed link, and this category will not be displayed. Like with the products, I have two options to edit. If I click on this left hand edit button, it will actually open a bit more options to actually go about changing some of the properties of this particular category, or I can actually go and hit on the right hand button and I have the delete and view links and options here. Moving down the list, under the catalog we also find the monitoring option. Under monitoring, there's a couple of segments which are displayed here. First of all, you can see right at the top list of empty categories. So all of the empty categories will be listed here. So for example, I have two categories which are actually empty, meaning there's nothing in them, and those are actually called tops and home. And I have the ID here, the name, and the description. Moving a bit to the right, I have the status. You can see that my tops has been disabled, but my home has actually been enabled. Once again, there's the option to edit those two here. So if I click on edit, this will open a full edit, and if I click on this right hand button, it will just open a small drop down menu where I can delete or view my particular category. Also, all of these tables, like we have seen before, give you the option to actually search for a particular category by entering one of many attributes. So for example, ID, name, or the description, or I can actually go here and search by status. Moving down, I'll find the list of all products with attributes but without available quantities for sale. So basically, I do not have these items in my online store, even though I'm actually displaying them. So for example, this is product number ID 6 and 4, and basically those are the printed summer dress and printed dress. They're available, meaning that they're actually enabled. However, I do not have any quantities of those for sale. I can go and edit that as well. Moving a bit more down, I'll find the list of all products without attributes and without available quantities for sale. So the only difference between the previous table, the one at the top, and the one that I'm currently referring to, is that this one does not even have the attributes, while the top one actually has the attributes, but I do not have any available quantities for sale. At the moment, I have no records. Down the bottom, the last table is actually a list of disabled products. So I might have some products which are listed, which are there, but have been actually disabled for one or other reason. I do not have any of those products here. I have spoken about product attributes, and the next link we're going to click just under monitoring is actually product attributes. Alright, so this is the list of all of my product attributes I currently have. I have the size, shoe size, and color. Once again, you can search by entering ID, the name, and actually you can come here and change the position. So to change the position, you just drag it and drop it, and that actually changes your position. You can see the indexing here has actually changed. So this is index 0, 1, 2. So it's going to start with index 0 no matter which attribute you actually put there. So I can choose to go color first, and the index will change to 0 and color will be displayed first. And you'll have some sort of a notification that this has actually changed in the upper right corner. So update successful. Okay, to enter new attributes, you would go and click on add new attribute. You can actually add a new value, or you can come to the little menu here, little icons, and then there's the add new attribute option here. There's the import from cloud, and you can actually go and refresh it. Once again, there is the bulk action activity available here as well, so I can select one, or you would actually select more than one, so you would select 2 or more actual attributes in this case, and you will perform bulk actions, so you can actually just delete the selected. Talking about the product features, there's a link here which will actually give you some options to describe your products in more detail. Basically, I'm still using the demo version that I have pre-downloaded and installed here. So this is a demo of my online store, as I think this is a good way to actually explain a few things. And this is pretty much the same as the attributes, but it only explains the product in more information, so it gives more details. Once again, we can add a new feature, we can add a new feature value, we have the recommended modules as well, and we have the small icons here as well. Like before, we can easily change the order in which this is displayed just by dragging and dropping. We can go and hit on big edit or the small edit. Under small edit, we'll have the delete and view options here. The number of featured products is displayed here, and it's 7 at the moment. We'll move to the manufacturers, and basically you can add as many manufacturers as you would like. So there are two tables. There's the first one which is labeled as manufacturers, and there's the second one labeled as addresses. Okay, I have currently only one manufacturer listed here, which is the fashion, and just like before, we have the big menu here, and I can add a new manufacturer. I can add the new manufacturer address, which will actually refer to the second table here. So basically you would enter some information about your manufacturer here as to the actual address, the physical address, or any other information that might be relevant regarding this particular manufacturer. Once again, we have the small menu here as well on both tables, where you can actually go and add a new, in this particular case it will be a new manufacturer. You can export this table, you can actually import a new table from the cloud, or you can go and refresh it. You have the option here to view, and you have the option here which will actually allow you to edit and delete this particular manufacturer. The same applies for the table below where the addresses are stored. You have the option to add new, you have the option to export, import, refresh, and then you have the big edit and the small edit, which will only allow you to delete this particular address for a particular manufacturer. PrestaShop allows you to have suppliers, and the basic information for the suppliers is actually located at this link here, just below the manufacturer's link. When you open this particular link, you'll be presented with a table like this one. Basically, this is almost like your manufacturer, but this is a supplier, and there's some difference between, of course, the suppliers and the manufacturers, but it actually follows the same principle. You'll have the table here with the ID, you can insert the logo, name, number of products, whether or not it's been enabled, you can view it, or you can actually go edit or delete this particular supplier. There's also the small icons menu here to add new, export, import, and refresh. Moving down the list, we'll come to the tags, and at this particular time I do not have any tags here. Okay, I can go and add new tags by following the same procedure, going to the small icon menu, or just clicking on the big icon menu right at the top, and down the bottom, the last option under the catalog menu is actually the attachments, and basically here you would add any sort of attachments that will actually go into your catalog. So those attachments will in some way be representative to your product. So this was a very quick introduction into the catalog menu, and in the later tutorials we'll have a look how to use those available options here to add new products, create categories, and then we'll have a look at the monitoring, and we'll see how to add product attributes. So basically this is something that will in more details explain your product, and this will actually almost be those two options here, product features and product attributes. I like to think of those as some sort of a subcategories to the categories. So you have the categories, for example, women's pants, and then you have some attributes and some features. So features might be that there might be long pants or short pants, and the attributes might be the colors and the actual sizes and whatnot. So I think of those two as the subcategories to the categories. Okay, so this is basically all on the first menu available there, the actual catalog, which is once again located right below the dashboard menu.